and he was like, Eric, there's great running backs, but there's a difference between a great runner with the football and a running back. The thing that we're going to separate with you, you're going to be a complete back. You can already run the football, but you're going to block like an offensive lineman. You're going to catch like a wide receiver. So being a complete back, I never had to come out of the game on third down.
Another duly noted podcast comes to you from the Meldon Law Studios at the Hacienda. Okay, welcome into another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios here at the Dooley Dome. Great show today. Errict Rhett is going to join us. Cannot wait to talk to him. I got a lot of things to talk to him about. And then on Monday, Coach Spurrier will be in. Next Thursday, it'll be Blake Topmeyer he's a senior college football columnist for USA Today. So that'll be an interesting discussion. And then at some point, we got a lot of other guests lined up going forward, but at some point we're going to get to where we just start getting people who can talk about teams Florida's playing this year, or even just SEC teams. Like I want to talk to my friend Adam Sparks about Tennessee and their expectations, and Scott Rabelais out at LSU, and so all those we're gonna work on having all those kind of people on and get through the summer. Of course, summer coming up, but hey, we're going to keep plugging away. I will take a week off at some point. In fact, I know right when it is in July. My wife and I are actually going to, I don't know if I mentioned this before, we're going to Denver, and she's got a convention out there, but we're going early, and we're going to see, I've always wanted to go to Red Rocks. So we're going to go to Red Rocks and see the Avett Brothers, who are playing out there, and they're one of my favorite bands. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right. Let us move along to our Money Metals starting five. MoneyMetals.com is your home for gold and silver purchases, one of the largest distributors in all the United States. 2 Gator grads are running it, and you can reach them at 1-800-800-1865 or at MoneyMetals.com. Okay, well, I think the biggest story of the week leading up to today, after we did the Monday show, is the news that came out which is not a big surprise. We thought it would happen, that Florida and FSU will play on a Friday. The interesting part to me was that it was the same day that Greg Sankey came out and said, we're not playing Friday games. We don't believe in that. We believe it should be left for the high schools. Now, this is a day game, but it will infringe on night games. But it's also on Black Friday. Already, it's so funny to me because it's not a night game. It's a 3:30 game. And they've got the right to do that. FSU could play it almost whatever day they want, I guess. And they did that in 2022 and won the game. So I guess they think, well, that's the way to win. I don't think it has anything to do with it, but I mean, I would assume that there's some contractual obligations with their deals, with TV. But anyway, the same day at 3:00, there's going to be an NFL game on Black Friday, the Steelers and the Broncos. So I don't know if the ratings are going to be through the roof for Florida FSU because I have no idea whether it's going to matter to anybody at that point. You don't know whether you're going to. Well, it'll matter to us, but I don't know if it'll matter to the guy in Spokane. So we'll see what happens there. But it has been an interesting conversation that they have had about Friday night games. And don't forget, I mean, that's the thing. The SEC can control not playing on Fridays, but they can't control not playing on Fridays. If you get what I'm saying, they can keep from playing Friday games in their stadiums and their home games or neutral sites, but they can't do anything about another team wanting to play a Friday night game when they're the home team, and rivalries, they could do that. Whatever. We talk about it all the time, and Mississippi State have gone through it and everything. It's not that big a deal, especially when it's on a Friday like that. Like Florida could have won that game last year. Or I'm sorry, in 2022. The last time they played over in Tallahassee, they did play the Saturday game, and Florida destroyed them because they really stunk, as we know. They were bad. and they've been bad for a while. Anyway, that to me is interesting, but not stunning in any way. It'll give us something to watch on Fridays. And the good thing is on Saturday, you'll be free to watch whatever you want. You can watch NFL, college, just go to the Florida game and be done with it. So that to me was a big story. And the fact that Sankey had said that was so interesting because I'm like, Florida played a Friday night game. And I know that I think it's Missouri and I'm trying to think who they're playing. They're playing somebody on a Friday night. That's already been scheduled. So they do play Friday night games. It's just they play them either at neutral sites or on the road. But so it's interesting that Florida FSU game will be then. All right. That is number one on our moneymetals.com starting five. Let's get to number two on Money Metals starting five, and that is softball regional. Big deal. It's a big deal around here. I was talking about this the other day about how we bring in a lot of people. We got to bring in 3 new teams and everything. So it's going to be exciting time. It's going to be a hectic time. I will say this: stay away from on campus, and I don't consider the softball stadium to be on campus. I guess technically it is, but it's far enough away that you should be okay going to that. But that concert's going on in the swamp Friday and Saturday. We are going to stay away from that part of town. I can promise you that. But it's going to be wild this weekend. But anyway, let's get to softball. And somebody I think it was Scott Hart mentioned this to me, and I knew this, but I didn't mention it last week, that I kind of said Florida had a soft regional, and Texas State's already beaten Texas Tech, the team that Florida may face in the Super, and beaten Texas A&M. They've got some good wins, but they fell off kind of at the end of the year. I don't know. Hey, look, if Florida loses to Texas State, then they don't deserve to go anywhere. And they could lose to Texas State because of their pitching Florida's pitching has been so bad. Now, maybe Keegan Rothrock finds it, comes out. They aren't used to seeing somebody like her, and they dominate the weekend, and they move on to the regional, super regionals. But I don't know. I don't even know what the level of excitement is right now for Florida softball. I mean, for a team with its record and to be the 6th seed in the whole country and to be hosting, I still don't sense that people are overly excited because of the way the season finished. And that is 2 losses in 4 games, 4 straight games, giving up 9 runs. First time in school history. We'll see how that all works out. I'm not optimistic about it. I mean, look, if they've struggled, they haven't found a 2. I think Keegan is kind of a 2, to be honest with you, if you had a real major ace out there. But I mean, look, she came back from not pitching a lot last year because of her injuries, and I have nothing but admiration for her, but she's struggling right now. I'm hoping she finds it. I'm hoping she finds it and Florida can advance on to the super regionals. Now, again, you got to start out with Texas A&M, 11 o'clock Friday. That's where it starts. And who knows? I mean, Texas State and I'm trying to remember the other team that's in this region. Oh, Georgia Tech, which was one among the last 4 in. But Georgia Tech can knock them off. And then you're playing Georgia Tech, and I don't know. Just watch it and enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. Hopefully, you guys can get out there and give them the home field advantage, which I'm sure will help. That's why you want to host regionals. You want to sleep in your own bed. You want to be in your own facility. You want to be in your own dugout. Although I don't know if that's a big deal in softball, but and you want to have the home crowd behind you. So show up, Gator fans. Now, don't forget, this team hasn't been at home, and that's during that 4-game. It's not a 4-game losing streak, but it's a 4-game malaise. Really, they haven't been at home, so maybe it'll make a difference, and we'll see. And I'm looking forward to watching it very much. May sneak out there one day, maybe Sunday, because I'm not sure I want to get that close to campus on Friday and Saturday. Anyway, it'll be fun to watch. Certainly. All right, let's get to number 3 on our moneymetals.com starting 5. And that would be that the basketball team is going to start its season this year as the number 1 team. We all know that. Nothing's going to change there unless, well, I don't want to even say anything that could happen, like injuries or something in practice. But they're going to be the number 1 team. Everybody's going to have them ranked number 1, and they're going to start the season playing in Tampa against Miami. Now, that is a bold move by Todd Golden. I do think Todd Golden wants to play. He's big on neutral site games. Analytically, it makes sense. You're going to go play. You played last year against Miami in Jacksonville, a Gator hub. You're playing in Tampa, a Gator hub. I think everywhere in the state but Coral Gables is a Gator hub compared to Miami in terms of fans. You're going to be the number 1 team, but don't forget, Miami's going to be ranked too. They're a very good team. They've done really well. In fact, that kid Cyril from Georgia went there. Several other, they did well in the portal. They've got some guys coming back. They played really well at the end of last year. It's going to be a battle. And you're going to be number 1. Target's going to be on your back. But you want to play Miami. It's a good, it's one of those games that if you lose, it doesn't really hurt your resume. If you win, it really helps your resume. And that's probably the way Miami's looking at it. But the other thing is, and I'm just guessing on this, but knowing Todd as well as I do, and I don't know him that well, but I know him, he wants to go play in Tampa again because he wants to get the stink of last year off. He wants to get the thing that gutted him out of his brain. And that is going to that. Now, you would say, well, why would you want to go to the same arena where you lost such a heartbreaker? Well, he can use that for motivation with these guys. They came back in part because of that game, because of the Iowa loss. That's the reason they've got all these guys coming back. I know, look, money's involved in it too, but there was a feeling like, hey, we love that feeling of 2 years ago. We hate that feeling of 1 year ago. We want to get back to the 2 year ago feeling. And even if it means getting to the Final Four and you lose, that's still, but you can't lose in the second round. So that is kind of the smell he wants to extinguish, I'm sure. And that's one reason they're playing that game in Tampa. And it'll be a lot of fun for people in Tampa, although some may go, last time I was here, it wasn't so much fun. But hopefully it will be this year. But hey, look, I think this year's Miami team is probably better than last year's Iowa team. Maybe. You could argue that point. So it'll be a battle. And again, it'll be Miami's first game with a bunch of new players too, so that Florida knows what they've got, So you would think advantage Florida there. So we'll see. But that's going to be interesting as well. All right, let's move to number 4 on our Money Metals starting 5, and that would be baseball. Baseball. Now they're starting tonight. There's so much to watch this weekend. I am going to go play golf when I get done today. I need to get out to the golf course. Haven't been out there in over a week. So I'm going to go play golf, and but when I get back, I'll watch the PGA. But there's so much going on with baseball, softball, PGA, NBA playoffs. We'll get to all that. But baseball is where are they right now? Well, everybody that I'm looking at, for the most part, I think Baseball American has them an 8 seed. Everybody else D1 and USA Today have them as a 10 seed, which is, look, it's fine if you're as long as you're hosting that first round, right? One of them hasn't matched up with FSU. Okay, fine. Beat them 2 out of 3 already once. But that would be in Tallahassee. So we'll see how it all works out. But that's about where Florida is right now in terms of where people have them. Now, here's the thing. And I was talking with Jeff Cardozo about this yesterday. They might go there and sweep LSU, and they might go there and get swept by LSU. And you have no idea which one's going to happen. None whatsoever. None of us do. We just don't know because this team is so weird. I hope that they figure some things out. I hope the Caden McDonald thing is going to be part of what spurs this team on to a College World Series. I'm not optimistic that it is. I hope Aiden King finds what he didn't have last week, and he's been great all year. I hope Liam Peterson can go 7-8 innings like he did last week. I just don't know about this team. They're a weird, confusing team, but I'll be watching every game, and we'll see how it goes. But those games now, by the way, all the projections that I have seen, I looked up a bunch of them up today, have 12 teams from the SEC getting in. So that's pretty. 12 out of 16 is not bad. I think that Kentucky and Vanderbilt are two teams that you're not sure about. Obviously, Vandy still has some work to do, but they did get some work done. I think Vandy might sneak in. They've got the longest streak going. We talked about that before, 19. If they don't make it, Florida would have the longest streak because Florida will definitely make it. So we'll see if they end up even with more teams, but it could be less. You never know. But it'll be interesting to see how the Gator baseball team shows up. They're 12th in RPI right now, by the way. And LSU is 57. And LSU is not making the tournament unless they win the SEC tournament. So good luck with that. But it'll be interesting to see how all this goes. I've said the word interesting way too many times today, but I'm really interested in this weekend. Okay. And we'll just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, man. Mark Wise gave me the best advice a long time ago. Enjoy the journey. Don't get caught up in RPI and nets and all this stuff. Just enjoy the journey. When you get there, then you see what happens. I agree. So I'm going to try to enjoy the journey of this weekend. Finally, number 5, excuse me, on our Money Metals starting 5, PGA started today. And yes, I did get up at 7 o'clock to start watching it. I will say that we live in a world that is so amazing and so frustrating at the same time. Back in the olden days, you wouldn't watch any golf till the weekend. That's the only time you could watch it. There was no streaming services and everything. So now today I get up at 7 o'clock to watch golf because I'm fired up for the PGA. Especially, and I'm going to get to this in a moment, I found out somebody I knew was playing in it. But the frustration is that it kept freezing. There was one time, I think it was Brian Harmon had a putt. I'm still watching. I got the TV on. It's frozen right now. It freezes on you. And the putt's going, and I go, oh, he left it short. And I go, 10 seconds later, it drops in. But he hadn't moved, so it was clearly just frozen. And then it went off for a while and then back on. Streaming is frustrating, but hey, it beats not being able to watch it at all. And that's the way I look at it. They should get better at streaming, but that's the thing too, with all this streaming that's going on. For example, I was talking earlier about the fact that Denver and Pittsburgh are going to play on the same time Florida and FSU are going to play on Black Friday. That game is on Prime Video. So, some of you will say, I'm not buying a app. I'm going to watch the Gator game. Yeah, well, we'll all watch the Gator game, but we may watch the Gator game on one TV, and the second TV, we watch something else. But we'll see how it goes. But there are 3 Gators playing. In fact, I was watching Billy Horschel this morning. He went bogey birdie. That's all I know for right now. Ricky Castillo is also playing. I think it's pronounced Castillo. No, I got to roll the L's. I can't roll. I'm not good at rolling L's. But Ricky Castillo is playing. And also, I saw this name. I said, Chandler Blanchett. Chandler Blanchett, where do I know that name from? I think I have him in my phone. I think I played golf with him a long time ago at Ironwood. So I look up his bio. No, I played with Christian Blanchett, his brother at Ironwood, who was trying to be a pro, and I don't know if he made it or not. Very nice young man. We had a great time. And I was looking at Chandler's, and Chandler went to Buell's and actually used to play at Meadowbrook a lot. And he was saying his best memory is playing with his brother at Meadowbrook. So he is a kid who is a Gainesville guy, and so we got somebody else to root for out there. He's on the Corn Ferry tour, by the way, but he made it with having enough Corn Ferry points. So keep an eye on Chandler Blanchett. That'll be fun. It's always fun to have locals in a major tournament, and we enjoy that. All right. That is our starting five, brought to you by Money Metals. We appreciate them. We will take a break. And when we come back, Rhett will join us. We got a lot of things to talk about with him, and we'll do a yes, no, way, or maybe as well here on another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Money Metals Exchange is a new sponsor for our starting five here on another Duly Noted podcast, and we are so happy to have a group that is formed by two Florida grads, Mike and Stephen Gleason. They do a great job up there. If you're looking to buy or sell any gold or silver products, this is the place for you. And you can reach them at moneymetals.com. Also, phone number 1-800-800-1865. They are the place to go. They run the largest Class 3 precious metals depository west of New York. They've been voted the best online precious metals dealer in the United States by Investopedia. It's a bull market right now. Everybody needs to get in on the gold and silver markets, especially silver. So it's a great time to jump in. I looked at it yesterday. I was on the website for a while. And it was amazing how many different things they have. Coins and rounds and bars and just all kinds of special things. And I think you would have a great time just going in there and browsing. And look, the prices are right there. You know how much it is. Money Metals Exchange is the place to go. Again, Mike and Stephen Gleason do a great job. You can reach them at moneymetals.com or reach them at 1-800-800-1865.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great. Okay, welcome back to another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It is a great pleasure to bring in the all-time leading rusher at the University of Florida. It's not Emmitt Smith. It's somebody better. It's Errict Rhett. Always good to talk to Eric. We've had a lot of conversations over the years. Eric, how are you today?
Man, I'm doing so good, man. I'm so blessed. I'm just glad to be back in touch with some of my Gator family.
Hey, so are you working a construction situation down there? Is that what you're mainly doing?
Yes, we've always been in the construction field ever since I started playing professional football. My brother's a general contract. All my family's involved with construction, both residential and commercial. So I just joined in. I do mostly houses, though.
Well, hey, if we build a new house, we'll give you a call. Well, I noticed that you have some Georgia pictures behind you, which is, to me, your signature game. Some people will say it's a Kentucky game, but to me, that game against Georgia, was that 93?
Yes, that was the 93. That was actually in the Mud Bowl. And so many people every day, I don't know if it's a week but has gone by where somebody hasn't approached me and asked me about that game, whether they was a little kid and their father brought them to the game. But I'm so amazed. So someone sent me this large poster in the mail, and I was like, I gotta make this a nice background.
Oh, it's great, yeah. But the thing about that game is you and Judd Davis were the two heroes, and Anton Lott, I think.
Wow.
He called timeout, right?
Yes, Anton. They called that timeout. That actually saved the game, and man, that was a phenomenal day. It was a little rain in the beginning, but as the game went on, the game was just all mud, and it just feels like we couldn't really throw the ball, but we were able to run the ball. And it's like, that's one time in a lifetime where you get in that zone. And I was like, I call it the Rhett zone. And I was just in that, I was in a zone where they knew where the ball was coming because, Coach Spurrier, he's doing the same symbols on the sideline. You could see the play, but it really didn't matter. You can know the ball is coming to the right, but that doesn't mean you're going to stop me or stop us. So we just had it was a great day, man. But, and it felt good. A couple of years later, I was able to play with Eric Zier when I played with the Ravens, and we always talked about that game right there, man. And they were able to pass the ball, no problem, but we just wasn't that efficient in passing the ball. But man, that was a phenomenal day, and thank God for Anton Law calling that timeout right there. Thank goodness.
Well, I remember saying to somebody I actually wasn't in the press box that day. I was actually a sports editor at the time, so I was at the paper, and I turned to somebody and go, Errict Rhett's a grown man, because those were grown man runs. You're slogging through the mud, and everybody knows you're going to get the ball, and you just said, I'm going to get 4 yards here, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Man, we just, like I said, you was in that red zone, but we had some of the greatest strength and conditioning staffs that made us stronger during the year. We had Coach Rich Tootin that, Coach Spurrier brought in, man. And, I remember him telling us before the year started, this is a team where we are going to get stronger as the season go. So we're not going to let up off the weights. We're going to continue working hard. And, man, it really paid off towards the end, just being able to define that strength and what they created for me in Florida, something that I don't see too much right now in college or the pros, is that my recovery time was complete. It was just unreal. I was able to run the football, and my recovery time was equivalent to like 20 seconds, meaning that I could run 100 meters at full speed. And within 25 seconds, I am totally, completely full recovery where I could sprint another 100 meters like it was nothing. Like it was my first time ever running it. Just the conditioning and practice, the way we conditioned ourselves. And, the preparation was everything leading to a game like that. And it's a great win that you'll always remember. And it was, 30-something years ago. And everyone still remembers it like yesterday.
Did Rich Tootin ever make you throw up?
Well, Rich Tootin made everyone throw up. I mean, but like this guy, he was so amazing. Is that we actually had maybe three or four different sessions, and it's hard to complain when a coach does all the drills with you. So you're throwing up, but this is his third time doing this drill. He's never given us nothing when he didn't do it with us. So that's one of the most amazing things right there. So he works out with you. And but one thing I found with him is just the endurance. The endurance was unreal. I remember when he first came there, Pat, and the rumors were already there that this guy's coming in and he's gonna destroy you. He comes from back in the 80s and what he did with players, and all we heard was these crazy rumors. Well, I can tell you this right. He lived up to, he surpassed any rumor, because like this is a man, the first day when he came there, we had our strength and conditioning where like our strength part. And everybody wanted to max out to impress the new strength and conditioning coach. Well, we did something called the leveraged leg press. We hadn't did too much leveraged leg press. We was more of doing squats. So when we do leveraged leg press, he wants to see what is your max. So some people, they're going to press the coach and their max is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000 pounds, how much they can press. Lo and behold, you have no idea what that was setting you up for. The very next day, we started the workout. He had all his files in order. Pat, you couldn't even, if my max was probably 800 pounds pressing, if you could imagine what he had one rep on there, and it was for 15 times. And I'm telling you, the reason why people threw up so much is that your max was what you was going to do 15 times. This man, and the one thing about it, he has no problem of being patient. You throw up, no problem. We'll wait for you to throw up. We're going to complete this though. We are going to complete this. You can throw up all you want. He took my brain to another level. I never thought I can accomplish what I accomplished, with coaches. Now we had everything completed. We had a phenomenal coaching staff. Steve Spurrier is it's just a genius. Now we have the conditioning side of the strength and conditioning side. We became bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter. And it just made it very difficult to ever win in the swamp.
I can tell you that this is something that John Summerall is a big proponent of because it hasn't been that way here for a while. And I think that's one reason they've lost so many games is they if you look at the fourth quarter last year, there's
Yes.
the least points they scored.
Yes.
You got to be ready to go. But you got to be ready to play in the fourth quarter.
Yes, you gotta have that inner arrogancy when you come whenever you come in the swamp or whenever you step on the field. Most of our games were like they were already won before we stepped on the field. We had a coach that he wasn't conceited, but he was, he believed in himself and he believed in his skills.
Yeah.
And he let us know right away this team shouldn't be on the field with you guys. Everybody's gonna play tonight. Everybody's gonna play. There was no doubt. There was never a doubt that we're going to win the game. I went to several Gator games over the years to where we're wondering if we're going to win at home. That's something that never happened. I couldn't even conceive of something like that right there where are we going to win at home against Kentucky? Well, we just don't know because we don't know what's going to happen. But when everybody get on the same page with the coaching staff, with the strength and conditioning side, everybody's on this, and they believe in one another. Oh man, you could completely be unstoppable. When you could see things that you could accomplish things you never could imagine. But we have to get back to where we win at home. The swamp, we don't just give away wins at home. You come, and even when we did, Pat, I would come there, and even some of the games that we won, it wasn't great entertainment.
No.
I don't want to go to a boring game. I don't want to go to a game where you see where we're winning and then we become so conservative. I come from a world with Coach Spurrier where we like the scoreboard up. It's excitement. You're going to get your money's worth. I don't want to drive up there 5 hours and then look at a boring game. We win and it's a boring game. We won by one. It's a boring game. I want to see some excitement. If you're a true football fan, you want to be entertained along the way as well. You just don't want to just come up there and see a boring game.
Errict Rhett coming to us on the Big Mills Cheesesteaks Zoom line. And Eric, how did you get from Pembroke Pines, all right, was where you grew up to Gainesville?
Well, I tell you this right here. I was I must tell you, I wrestled and I played football, and it was up in the air. I didn't know which sport I was going to pursue, but I knew I wanted to get my mother out of those living conditions, so I chose the football route. But along the way, nobody really recruited me for running back. I was all-state defensive guy. I was I was rough. I was tough. I was strong. I wasn't the fastest guy in the world, but I don't believe there's no way humanly possible that no one can outwork me. And still to this day, I work hard. So that route, I remember taking several visits. I took a visit to LSU. They brought their entire class up there and actually when they went to LSU, everybody signed with LSU on that visit right there. I went to West Virginia. I went to Indiana. I chose places where they would give me a shot to play running back. I love playing defense. Defense was good, but it wasn't in my heart. I really love playing offense. I really love playing running back. So I remember Coach Red coming there. He came to my school, Jerry Anderson, Coach Red Anderson.
Yep.
He came to my school and he was like, "Big man." He always called me Big Man. Big man, I can't promise you that we're going to let you play running back, but I promise you we're going to give you a shot. I promise you we're going to give you a shot. But we are recruiting you for defense just like everybody else is all over the nation. I was, very aggressive. I was actually a outside linebacker, strong safety, whatever you would call it, We call it Gator back then.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Gator back.
That's
So
what Ben Hanks played the Gator back, right?
yes, Ben Hanks played it, and he, Ben Hanks, very talented. So when I got up there, I remember my coach telling me when I was in high school, he says, Eric, you have to do whatever it takes to separate yourself from the rest. So like I got up there and they had me playing defense. I was, limited playing offense a little bit of here. They'll give me a little, let run down the field, with the 15 something. No coaches are watching you. But one day the coaches came over there, and let me say, when my opportunity came, you're gonna be able to see me. I'm gonna make sure you take notice. I have to do something that separates me from everybody else. First of all, I've never walked on a football field or walked off a football field. I always sprint on there and I sprint off the field. And every single time I've ever touched the ball in 5 years at the University of Florida, I score a touchdown every single time I touch the ball, Pat. It really doesn't. You really don't have to come watching me on game day. You could just come to one practice, and I want to change your life just watching me practice, because I'm gonna out practice everybody there. I live my life as though when I was at UF, because my mother was my compelling why. I really wanted to get my mother out of these living conditions. So I practiced every day as though death was tomorrow. I didn't live for Saturday game. I practiced every single day. I wanted to get better. And that right there, it worked out. The coaches finally seen. They gave me the opportunity, man, and I wasn't looking back. I'll never want to go to that other side of the ball ever again. I just really enjoyed playing running back.
Well, when you signed, had Emmett made his decision yet?
No, well, Emmett, no. Actually, me and Emmett, when I got there, Emmett was the junior.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
Emmett was, because you redshirted the first year, right?
No, not at first. I didn't redshirt until, guys, do remember this back in the days, I had an elbow injury. And Pat, you was, I don't know where you was at that practice right there, but everyone, some of the older guys that's watching this right here, they'll say, man, that was the day that UF will always remember. Now, the most painful injury in all of football is a dislocated elbow.
Oh, yeah.
That right there it's nothing more painful than football than a popped out dislocated elbow. Well, I was running the football one day in practice, and Emmett was hurt. So I was possibly going to start this game, and I wasn't going to ever give that job back, Pat. So I'm running the football, and someone tripped me. As I'm running the football, someone popped me on my elbow, and it popped out. And that right there started my redshirt year. But before that right there, I was roommates with Emmett on game day. So I had a chance to room with this guy and really learn a lot from him. And it just, just the way he competes in practice and the way he carries himself very professionally, but phenomenal guy, phenomenal running back as well.
It's funny because I remember in spring of the first year of Coach Spurrier, it might have been Carl Bob Franks, said to me, one of the coaches, I think it was Carl, he said, we're okay without Emmett. We got Errict Rhett. You won't believe this guy. He's going to be unbelievable. Nobody's even going to remember Emmett Smith. And I go, that can't be true.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting here today, and there's only one guy who's got the record, and that record may never be broken.
Yes.
For most yards for a career.
Yes, and you know what's amazing with all of that right there, Coach Franks, man. I remember him taking me in, and he was like, Eric, there's great running backs, but there's a difference between a great runner with the football and a running back. The thing that we're going to separate with you, you're going to be a complete back. You can already run the football, but you're going to block like an offensive lineman. You're going to catch like a wide receiver. So being a complete back, I never had to come out of the game on third down. And in the history of every time I've ran the football, you've never ever seen me tap my helmet for my backup to come in the game because my conditioning is unreal. But like I remember the record. That record is a phenomenal record, but a record that I'm more like impressed with of all my accomplishments is something that no college player has ever did in the history of college football, and that's catch over 150 balls with 4,000 yards rushing. That's something that you don't ever really see. Guys might, you wide receivers don't even have 150 balls caught in their entire career, in their entire college career, let alone I'm a running back and almost being 38% of that offense. I mean, every single down, I got something to do, whether it's Shane Matthews throwing me the ball
We do the
outside on this little
underhand pass.
bumper route. Yeah, we had the swivel pass underneath,
Yeah.
we had the bandit right blue side bumper route. Oh man, it was just always a part of the offense, and we never had to come out. And I tell you, playing in those days, it was so much fun, Pat. When you come to, you can tell a football game. If anyone that's listening, you ever go to a game, you have a family member that's part of a team. If you get a chance to go into a locker room after a game, that's when you can really see the sense of a game. Whether you win the game or lose. If you win the game, you go in the locker room, it's sometimes everybody's not happy after the game. Some people that didn't get the opportunity to do this. One thing about the way Coach Spurrier worked it out, where it was a happy atmosphere after the game. Everybody's happy. And that's the one thing he did. Make sure that everybody gets the chance to contribute. And we had a lot of fun. I mean, it was great playing back then. We just was, you excited, man. You know that you were gonna win the game. So it's just, I'm proud to be back then, but I can't wait to see Gator football get back where it used to be.
That's why Chris Bilkey and Brady Ackerman got carries.
Yeah.
They want everybody to be happy. They gave the ball to Bilkey 4 times, I think, and he didn't.
Oh man.
One.
And that was fun, man, because those guys, Bilkey's a great fullback and Brady's my man. Both of those are great guys, man. But, man, they contributed to making the defense better during the week. Whether you're playing scout team, it was always fun. And you know what, man? And for the guys that did not play, Coach Spurrier did something else. They would have another football game on Monday night. It would be called Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, yeah.
So, like, the guys that didn't contribute, who didn't play on Sunday, he made sure that those guys would have their game day on Monday. And that game was so competitive. It was so much fun, man. So, like, that's what I love about the old days. And I hope we get it back to having fun like that right there.
Yeah, and I think that will happen. I did want to ask you one other question before we get to yes, no, where, or maybe, and that is, and this is my opinion, and nobody's asked me, and nobody cares what I think. Even though I am the guy who came up with the idea for the Ring of Honor, I want that on the record. But to me, if you go in the Ring of Honor, you should go in the Ring of Honor if you have had a significant school record for more than 25 years. And that would be you, would be one of those people. Alex Brown would be one of those people. It's got the sack record forever. Eventually Chris Leak, who's got the passing record, but because they wrote the criteria the way they did, they need to change it. And I've talked to Scott Strickland about changing it, but a person like you needs to be in the Ring of Honor when you've had the rushing record for what, 26 and 7, that's 33 years.
And I was number 33.
That's right.
I go to so many different programs every year. All my friends that I played with in high school, I mean, from the NFL, I'm always being invited to go back to their college because they're getting inducted into the Ring of Honor. And it always goes back and reflects in the back of my head like, wow, man, what does it take to really get up there? Because I know a lot of players, I look at guys like Shane Matthews. I mean, he deserves to be up there. I look at Percy Harvey. I mean, he's probably one of the most phenomenal guys I've ever seen, the Pouncey twins. I could go on and on and on. You got guys like Lewis Oliver. It's a lot of talented guys that then came out of UF, and it should be made a fun event. And I don't know the difficulty phase with getting up there. I don't really know what the criteria. I never really looked into that, Pat, at all. I think I love the fact that being deserved of being of a reward feels better than I see a lot of awards given out that maybe they didn't deserve it, you know. So I feel better knowing that, hey man, you deserve to be up there. So maybe the day will come. But like that right there, that doesn't really judge what I did, what I know in my heart, what I accomplished with Gator football, and that I always bleed orange and blue, and that's me. I'm always just be a proud Gator. So
All right, it's time for us to play the game we love to play. Yes, no, where, or maybe 3 questions with Errict Rhett is brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteaks Street Dining. Done the right way, go in there and have some great food. It is unbelievable. And if you say you listen to Errict Rhett on the podcast, you get free French fries with your order. How about that?
hey, yes.
You don't look like you eat a lot of French fries, though.
No, man, I'm in top shape.
All right, number one. You ate a lot of Twinkies at a 7-Eleven to make sure you made weight for the '88 Wrestling State Wrestling Tournament.
I didn't. No, it wasn't Twinkies. No. but
Well, you had to eat something.
oh, what I did, I promise you, in all of my life, I've never did nothing so difficult in my life. To gain 13 pounds in 2 hours, to wrestle in the state championship and go on to win it. I actually drink a gallon of water, large bag of potato chips, and a large thing of bananas. Probably almost 2 gallons of water. So that right there, straight in 2.5 hours, 6 guys carried me, put me on the scale. I made weight. I gained about 13, 14 pounds in 2 hours. But it
How'd
was
you do in the wrestling meet?
Excuse me?
How'd you do in that state wrestling meet?
I won it. I was the state champ.
There you go.
Absolutely won it.
That is a great story, though.
Yes.
All right. Second on yes, no, where, maybe. You did the Omega Sci-Fi Wings Up on a dare the first time.
On a wall.
On a dare.
Oh yeah. I guess I wasn't really supposed to do that right there. It's something to do in my fraternity, but I was just so proud and happy that I finally crossed over. I had been pledging a whole year. So finally we went over and it felt good. I believe I started doing it in the Kentucky game. And Coach Spurrier didn't know what that was or what it symbolized it did. Before long, every time I do it, they start throwing a flag on me. So I guess they thought it meant some kind of taunting or something like that. But, I finally everybody accepted me and I throw the hooks up.
Yep. I thought it was cool, man. I always loved it. Yes. And especially because it means you just scored. So that was
every time I score, yes.
All right, and finally, number 3 on Big Mills Cheesesteak, yes, no, where, maybe. Errict, you've taken people over to the pavers to look at your All-American honor.
Oh man, I take people over there all the time because, like, man, I guess I used to always hear the story of like reflecting. And like, man, when you're actually doing this and you're accomplishing all your goals and you're actually breaking these records, you don't really know what it means until maybe 10, 20, 30 years later, you reflect on what you accomplished. Man, it feels good. And like whenever someone goes to Coach Spurrier restaurant, people always take a picture in front of my stone right there. And I'm just honored, and I always take people over there by Albert the Gator, by the big Gator, that Stompy's Gator, and I'm proud to show people my All-American. Or when we go back up inside the Gator facility, practice facility, man, it feels good to reflect on it. And I never knew what people meant by, hey, one day I'll reflect on everything I accomplished. I'm at that place right now in my life where I'm reflecting, and man, it feels so good to look back on your life of all accomplishments, things that you did in your early 20s, and it's still playing a pivotal role right now in my life to today.
Absolutely. Hey, I could talk to you for all day, and I will get you on again during football season. How about that?
Yes, absolutely. I look forward
because I love talking to you. You know the Gator history, and you've been through it as much as anybody.
Yes. And next time we're going to talk about this NIL and all this portal.
Oh yes, I'm saving that question.
We're going to get to that next time we talk.
We'll do that. We appreciate it. We'll be back with more of another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios right after this break. All right, it may be a new year, but it doesn't mean you have to back off any of your goals as far as losing weight. I know I've been working even harder on it, and of course I get an assist from BMI TeleMed. They help us out with our New Year's resolutions, even if I've already broken 2 of them. Not the food ones, though. Weight loss is your goal. Get with BMI TeleMed. They use GLP-1 medications, and they are individualized. And that's the great thing. I've been through this, and Charlie, just talking to him, it was so great to make him understand, and he understood what I was doing. It's not about just losing weight. It is about keeping it off. You know that. We're all excited about the new year, and we're going to lose weight. But when you lose it in the first month, then you got to keep going. BMI TeleMed is sensible. It's straightforward. It's affordable. No contracts or hidden costs. BMI TeleMed is donating $1 for every pound you lose to the Florida Victorious Foundation. So go Gators. I'll join the listeners on this podcast who've already lost over 600 pounds. Are you kidding me? I'm 60 of them right there. All right, contact BMI TeleMed today at 727-383-1677.
By now, you heard about the Florida Legends Experience and Gala, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel, and Steve Spurrier, all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Always great to talk to great players and great guys. Always liked Errict Rhett. We appreciate him. Let us move to our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Hesser and Kipke, with over 50 years of combined legal experience in North and Central Florida, Hesser and Kipke is your place for bankruptcy, workers' compensation, and family law. Call or text Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920, Hesser and Kipke. Oh, to be a fly. This is number 1, our Hesser Kipke 3 things. Oh, to be a fly at the SEC meetings, which I think are next week in Destin. Fly on the wall and listen to some of the conversations, because Lane Kiffin stirred it up again in an interview. He talked about how racist Ole Miss is, and it's hard to get black players to come there. And look, I agree. I go back to Jack Jackson and Jack Jackson, who was from Mississippi, and he said, my parents wouldn't let me go to Ole Miss, and he went to Florida. Of course, was a great player for Florida. This is nothing new. I mean, they have taken some of the stuff away, the Confederate flags and stuff, but they're still up there somewhere. Look, it's not nice to take a shot at your old school, a school that gave you a chance to be an SEC coach when you were at FAU, and then you abandon them in their playoff run. I just cannot wait till September 19th, I think it is, when Lane Kiffin brings his team to Ole Miss. And I wonder, remember what happened when he went to Tennessee and they just hate him and everything, and then he throw all this stuff and they got fined for that. I hope they don't do that kind of stuff, but I know that it's going to be loud for that game. It is going to be crazy, but then Sarkisian takes a shot at Ole Miss. They get some collateral damage. He takes a shot at Ole Miss, saying that they have basket weaving courses for there. What is going on? Is everybody just picking on Ole Miss? Now, look, I've been to Oxford, but I've never really spent any time there. I know that the baseball team does and basketball does. Football, when I covered them, we had to stay in Memphis because there aren't very many hotels. It's kind of like Starkville. You can't stay in Starkville. But where this goes, we'll see. We'll see if the commissioner at some point goes, you guys need to start getting along or not. I know he got into it with Kiffin and Urban Meyer. Mike Slibe did. The old commissioner got very upset with the way they were talking to each other. And that was certainly warranted. Urban shouldn't have been called out for cheating. It's the league is going to be really interesting this year, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, we got 6 new coaches. I think it's going to be fascinating. I can't wait. I wish we could go back to what we did. Remember, we used to do this, and it was my idea, and I came up with the design for it and everything. I'm taking full credit for it. It was called The League, and it would be a full page of nothing but SEC stuff, and for football, and we did it for basketball too. And I loved doing it, and I loved everything about it, and I thought it was great. And I don't know if I never really got a lot of feedback on it, but I know the paper liked having it because they sold a big ad across the bottom of it. But the league, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun this year. Let's get to number 2 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things and a tip of the cap to the women's golf team. Did a great job at the Tallahassee Regional. They finished 3rd. It almost felt like they knew they were good. They were going to qualify, and maybe they took their foot off the gas. They didn't have a great day the last day, but they still were great in fine place. I mean, Wake Forest went nuts, shot 10 under and finished 1st in the regional. I guess you get a little trophy for that, but where you finish, I don't know that it matters that much. But Florida ends up finishing 3rd. You only had to finish in the top 5, and they will be headed to La Costa for the NCAA finals. So that is great news. They're a really good team. I think they just had a little bit of a mental lapse. That's just my guess, and I don't know. I haven't talked to Emily about it, but still, congratulations to them for making the NCAA. And of course, the men start playing on Monday up in Columbus, Ohio, and try to get to the finals of the NCAA tournament, which is also out there. So that'll be a lot of fun to keep track of. And they certainly played well. First 2 days, they really played well. They were leading the first 2 days. And the 3rd day, I think they shot like 2 over the 3rd day, which still they never had anything. It was like they qualified by 11 shots, so it wasn't close. All right, let's get to number 3 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things, and that is I am going to salute, tip of the cap to my Atlanta Braves, who every time I think, okay, this can't keep going on. Oh, the Cubs are coming to town. Oh boy, Cubs are really good too. Best 2 teams in baseball according to the records. What's happened so far? Win. With Mike Yastrzemski getting the big hits both nights. That came out of nowhere. Pinch hit double last night was a winning run, and they beat the Cubs twice and have given up what? 3 runs, I think it is, in 2 games. And this was a team that wasn't supposed to have any pitching. It was going to be Chris Sale and pray for hail. Well, it's good. But they're the first team to 30 wins in Major League Baseball. I did not see this coming. I'm enjoying it. I will tell you this, so I just keep waiting for a shoe to drop. Acuna's been out, but he's coming back. Wow, this team is scary good. I mean, when Riley hits a homer on the first night, I'm like, whoa, maybe he's coming around. It's pretty amazing what's going on there. But hey, look, any time I can talk about the Braves and make it legitimate, I'm all there. I'm all here for it. All right, let's move along to our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Week. And that is brought to you by our friends at Gallo Car Wash, where we get all of our cars washed. I can tell you that. The Sponge of the Week is the NFL schedule release. The NFL is the king for a reason. And that is because they know how to dominate the news cycle all the time. No, even when the NBA playoffs are going on, oh yeah, the big story is the NFL schedule release. But they do it piecemeal. They go, hey, we're going to give you a one game today. Okay. This is the game that's going to be your first Sunday night game. Then we're going to give you the Monday night game, the first Monday. Then we're going to give you the international games, 9 of them this year. I get it, but I don't get it. I do love getting up and watching a 9 a.m. NFL game on Sundays. That is great. But it's still not, the whole schedule's still not out. It's just coming out in little bits and pieces. But that makes you part of the news cycle for a long time. And they're very smart. They know what they're doing. I don't know when this started, but I try to remember when the reveals started coming out piecemeal like this, but I think it's been 10 years or so, maybe 15, where it's happened like that. But that's why they're the Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Weekend, or Sponge of the Week, because they soak it all up, man. They just say, hey, get out of our way, we're the king. And they are the king. That's why they can pay their commissioner $68 million. It's just crazy when you think about it. All right, that is our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Week. Let us move along to our favorite segment, This, That, and the Other. All right, the this on This, That, and the Other is that Greg Sankey reiterated this week that we want 16. Now, 16, we have studied that. It works. 24, no, we need more info. We need more information on that. We need to know more about the analytics and everything. We're not ready to sign off on it. So that's one day. And then later that day, I write a column saying, I want 24, and this is on Patreon. If you get to Patreon, patreon.com/Dooley noted. I wrote a thing about the 5 reasons I want 24. One of them is more games. I'd like more games. And please do not tell me that it's going to diminish the regular season. That is the argument everybody uses. Every coach uses it, doesn't believe it. I saw Mario Cristobal use it the other day. No, that it doesn't diminish the regular season. It makes the regular season better. Now, what it does is eliminate the championship games, and that's okay. I'm ready to do that. I wish we didn't have to do that, but I understand it. But you think about the last 2 weeks of the season, if you've got 24 teams that get in, all these Power 5 teams that would normally be playing, or Power 4 teams, would normally be playing a game that, okay, maybe a rivalry game like Kentucky, Louisville, or something like that. And the game before it would be already is meaningless, right? The pre-rivalry game week is all usually you play, Abilene State. So maybe you're going to have to schedule tougher, but everybody's dropping out all these games. I just think it's going to make for more games because more teams can have a chance to get in the playoffs. So that means more games matter. This is simple math. I think I may be way wrong on this, but I think it's simple arithmetic that if you have the more playoff opportunities you have, the more you're going to be able to, the more the games are going to mean during the regular season, not less. They're going to be more. You don't think the games meant more this year with the 12-team playoff? I think they meant a lot more. Then, and this is the other, in the same context of all this, Wednesday, the ACC commissioner comes out and says 2 things. The first thing I see on Twitter is, hey, just need to let everybody know, ESPN really doesn't want to go to 24. They don't want to pay that much for it. They don't want it. They don't need. And I find that hard to believe that ESPN may not want to pay that, but and that would be the only reason to go to 24 is that would be the biggest reason is advanced cash, more money. But if ESPN says we aren't going to pay it, okay, then that kind of puts the end to it. Or you can go, okay, well, we're going to renegotiate this deal and we're going to include CBS, ABC, Prime, whatever. Now, all that comes out, and then he says that, but then he comes out and says, but I'm in favor of 24. And he says, well, I'm standing with the Big Ten. So now you got 2 conferences, the ACC and the Big Ten, who are saying, we want 24. Big 12, I don't think anybody really cares what they think. The bottom line is what the ACC says doesn't really matter because it comes down to what the SEC and what the Big Ten want to do, and they're the ones making the call there. And we'll see what happens. But it feels like mommy and daddy are arguing again, and I just can't get them to work it out. Anyway, that is this, that, and the other for this it's a wonderful Thursday here in Gainesville, FLA. I'm going Joe Dean, old school Joe Dean Sr. Remember when he used to say, string music in Gainesville, FLA? That was back in the days when you might get one game a week to watch. Anyway, let's move along to our Los Linderos Smooth Move of the Week, brought to you by our friends at Los Linderos Tequila. Go beyond with Los Linderos, like an Urban Meyer special team play. It's that smooth. And by the way, I was watching something the other day, and Florida, I forgot that Florida blocked a field goal in that national championship game in 2008, and that was their 9th block kick of the year. This is what they've got to get back to. Now, you've got to have great athletes to do that, but you've got to get back to that where you're blocking 4 or 5 kicks in a season. Not one, maybe one, you know. They got to get back to that. You've got to get back to special teams being important, and I know Summerall believes that. All right. Our Los Linderos Smooth Move of the Week involves Maurice Spates. Now, what did Maurice Spates do? Well, he got a new job. And he at Polk State Junior College down there in Winter Haven. Congrats to him. He had been a high school coach. To be honest with you, I didn't know he was out of the league. He was playing for Golden State just, I think, 2 years ago. But he had a great career in the NBA, and now he wants to be a coach, and he's moving up. Got the job at Polk State, and he tweeted it out, or somebody tweeted it out, and I said, hey, I was there in Madison Square Garden the night he had 20 rebounds at the NIT. And most Spates is a really good player. And he did retweet it. He liked it. So that was good. But anyway, he's the new coach at Polk State. So now I got to pay attention to Polk State. I didn't even know there was a Polk State. There's a Polk Salad Annie, but I didn't know there was a Polk State. Anyway. Oh, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood, and I can't even explain why. I'm just in a good mood. All right, let us move along from Los Linderos Smooth Move to our Adams Ribco Gator of the Week, brought to you by our friends at Adam Ribco. Don't forget tomorrow, Nana's Nuggets. They will be available only on Fridays, but if you want to go in there for any of your barbecue needs, you know that's the place to go. Our Gator of the Week is Caitlin Huber, who I think is from Gainesville, right? Yeah. And she had the low score at the NCAA regionals over in Tallahassee for Florida. She finished 6th, which is really good, and shot 4 under for the tournament. Congratulations to her, Caitlin. You know the rule. If you want to go to Adams, lunch is on me anytime you want it, and I will let you know. I'd be happy to have you. I've never met you, but I'd still be happy to buy you lunch. All right, so that's our Adams Ribco Gator of the Weekend. Let's move along to our Leonardo's and Millhopper quick pick, and we are going to make a poll today, okay? We're going to make a poll today because we want to have a winner and get them a $25 gift certificate at Leonardo's and Millhopper, and we'll throw something else in. Whoever wins, I will give them options. I've got a bunch of stuff going on here now in my office. There's books and hats and gift certificates, so I'm going to try to see. I wanted to tailor it to whatever you want. So let's go to I've got them all written down here. We had a lot of qualifiers. A lot of them qualified on the last one, Zach. So we're going to ask you to pick a number between 2 and 84. So we had 80, what would that be? 82 qualifiers. I've got a lot of names written down here. And a lot of people qualified multiple times, which is great. Where you qualify as many times as you want, but it gives you a better, it's like the ping pong balls. You got a better chance of winning. So some number between 2 and 84, Zach, give it to me, and I will tell you who won our Leonardo's and Millhopper quick pick.
Yeah, so the one that pops in my head is from our friend last week, Carlos Alvarez, 45. Why not?
That's a good number, 45. I always like that number. Carlos Alvarez. He is a good friend. That's Tyler Haddon. Tyler Haddon is our winner. I think he's won before, and he's always in the contest, so good for him. Tyler, you're going to get $25 at Leonardo's and Millhopper, and anybody who wants to get in the contest, and Tyler, you need to text me. You know my email. It's patrickdooley54@gmail.com, and just send me a text and let me know, and I'll tell you what options you have for a second prize. So we're just giving away a lot of stuff here. It's really cool. Also, we'll go ahead and let people start qualifying again. We'll give you Florida LSU Friday. It's 3:00 game. Sunday. I'm sorry. All right, let's start all over again. Florida LSU on Saturday. They screw me up with that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're playing tonight. They're playing Saturday. Saturday is the game that you have to pick: Florida versus LSU. It's a crapshoot. Nobody knows who's going to win, and that'll qualify you for the next contest. And we do them about every 3 weeks. We pull a winner, and like I said, we have a lot of stuff we're willing to give away, and we may seek some others from other people and get some more advertising stuff going forward. All right. That is our Leonardo's and Millhopper quick pick. Oh, by the way, I did make a huge mistake last week. I thought the LA OKC game was on Tuesday and it was on Monday. So everybody said, well, I'll take OKC since they won last night. That's one reason we had so many qualifiers. That was my mistake. I make them a lot, but try to limit them at any rate. All right. Let's move along to our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week. It is brought to you by our friends at BMI TeleMed. Achieve and maintain. Achieve and maintain. With your weight loss specialist, it'll work for me, it'll work for you. 727-383-1677. Tell them Pat Dooley sent you, and you get a discount on your order, and it's doing really well. They're doing good. I appreciate them. Smart Move of the Week. Brought to you by BMI TeleMed, and to me, it was a no-brainer. This feels like a Gator Growl again. And nobody's been more critical of the Gator Growl than me. They took it away from us. The fun, the being in the stadium, had it over there at the band shell. Usually it was rappers. So, look, I'm not trying to be an old fuddy-duddy, but I'm not going to go see a rapper that I don't know. Just like I wouldn't go see Morgan Wallen. I don't know any of his songs. Sorry, I'm not that. That doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make you bad if you do like Morgan Wallen. I just don't know his songs, so why would I go see him? The point is that this felt like a great move, a smart move, and that is to have Nikki Glazer host the Gator Growl this year. I'm excited. Nikki Glazer's hilarious. I am stunned, and by the way, it'll be at the O-Dome. I am stunned that they would bring in a comedian known for her body humor when the reason that they moved it in the first place was because there was too much body humor because the alumni were getting upset. Remember when Robin Williams and Mr. Happy? By the way, Greg Hardy needs to send me a copy of the book he did on Gator Growl, the comedians of the Growl. But this is what Gator Growl is supposed to be. Somebody is supposed to go there and be really funny. And also you have all these presentations on the video board that are really funny. I may go to Gator Growl for the first time, and I can't remember the last time I went because Nikki Glazer, I like her that much. So I'm sure it'll be hard to get tickets. Anyway, that is definitely our smart move of the week. Brought to you by BMI TeleMed. All right. We wrap it up as we always do with the Swamp Restaurant presenting our games of the weekend. It's brought to you by the Swamp Restaurant, which is the place to go if you are ready for food, drink, and sports. That's all you get there. It's food, drink, and sports. Great food specials, great drink specials. Always have the big screen out there in the yard. Could be a day where I go out there and watch it. That would not be a bad way to spend a Friday night. I may need to bring that up because everybody will be at the Morgan Wallen concert, so we can be over there at the Swamp. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. All right, but our Swamp games weekend, and we'll start with softball. Now, the only thing I can really give you is the first game, which is Friday, And I think I screwed that up last week too. I don't know. Monday I was in a weird place. But I'm just going to say softball is at 11 o'clock tomorrow, Friday, and it's on the SEC network. For those of you who are not going to be able to go or not be able to get tickets, you can watch it on the SEC network. Pretty easy to watch that. And then I think if they win, which I think they'll win against Florida A&M, then I'm pretty sure they play the first game. But all the times are, you know when they play. They play at 11, then the next game's at like 2, and then the next game's at like 7 or whatever. Whatever it is, you'll figure it out. And most of the games will be on TV one way or another. So we'll see how that goes. Baseball, not good news if you don't get ESEC Plus, because all the games are on the SEC Plus. But Thursday is 7:30, Friday is 7:30, Saturday is 3 o'clock. So those are the times of the games. If you do have ESPN Plus, or if you go somewhere where they do. I know they're, for example, we went to a place over on 6, and I always screw the name up, so I'm not going to try. And I would love to get them as a sponsor. We are short one sponsor, by the way. If anybody wants to give me a call or email me at patrickdooley54@gmail.com, we need to pick it up. And I would love it if you did. I'll give you a great summer rate, believe me. So anyway, that would be where you would go for baseball to watch it. I'm sure they'll have it there at the Swamp. The NBA Friday, Detroit at Cleveland. Cleveland's up 3-2. That game is at 7 on Prime Video. San Antonio at Minnesota. San Antonio up 3-2, 9:30 on Prime. Those games are Friday night. Again, if you don't get Prime Video at I don't. This is the way we're going, man. Is streaming, and network TV is almost becoming a dinosaur, but at least we still have enough to watch. And then they play again on Sunday, but I mean, I don't, they can't give you the times yet because they're not sure who's going to win and who's going to lose. So if one series ends, they will just come back and play. They would play a night game. Whoever the night game would be the night game. But if they don't, then they'll play a day and a night game. I'm making no sense now. PGA, if you're going to watch that, I'll just give you the easy one. CBS will have it Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 7. Watch golf all day, both those days. That'll be a lot of fun. Also, baseball. Miami at Tampa Bay is on ESPN. I think that's Saturday night, 7 to 10 p.m. So that baseball game. The Braves are on, but I was having a hard time finding. I think they're on Saturday night or Sunday night against the Red Sox on the Major League Baseball Network. It's very confusing now the way they've set up the stuff. But again, this is the streaming stuff we deal with. It beats the old days when you could watch one NFL game a week or one college football game on a Saturday. It beats that, okay? It can be challenging for those of us who are challenged, and I am when it comes to trying to find the games I want to watch. But at any rate, that is our Swamp Games of the weekend. I hope you've enjoyed another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Zach Rothrock getting the job done as he always does. We appreciate him, and we'll be back with another show on Monday when Coach Spurrier joins us. And don't forget Blake Topmeyer from USA Today the following Thursday. By the way, Jesse Palmer, we do have him locked in June. I could tell you the date, but I'd have to look it up. I think it's June 10th or 11th, somewhere in there. But anyway, we've got him locked up to be on the show. I cannot wait for that. That'll be a lot of fun, and a bunch of other great guests coming up as well. That'll do it for the show. Until next time, I am Pat Dooley saying I am deep, I am way back, and I am out of here.